Hello, Scrappy friends. It's Audrey. Welcome to day 6 of the Summer Scrappin series. I hope you are getting your Summer Scrappin on. Today, my guest is Susanna Lee. Susanna and I have been Scrappy friends for a really long time. I think she's done this series with me several times, I think, too. So go check out her cute summary page, which is linked in the description below. So for my page today, I'm using these adorable photos of my daughter picking dandelions. I try to teach my kids that dandelions are not just weeds. They have a lot of great properties and you can eat the greens. And my daughter Charlotte even tried to make like dye with them, natural dye with them this year. So these particular ones were the biggest ones she's ever seen. And I quote. So I love these cute photos. So I am using these creative cuts from Altenew, which I received from them as part of their new product release. They asked me to be a guest designer a couple weeks ago, and I said yes, and I loved it, and I love the products, so I am using them again. So I was first of all, these are not just like a plain cardstock. They're heavy, a lot heavier than a normal cardstock. So they hold ink really well. So I did something very similar on another page I did a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think it was the one I actually did for the blog hop, where I kind of made these wreaths of leaves and then sprayed them with different colors. So I am just spraying these with different Distress Oxide inks, and I'm kind of doing like not a rainbow, but a blended look with the colors. So some greens and blues and yellows, and then actually mostly just greens and yellows. And then I go over them with some splatters of blue. And I will put those to the side to dry. And now I am using this cloud scene stencil again, which like when you first look at it, you're like, it's kind of like, what is this really going to do? It kind of looks just like jagged edges, but it's amazing that this stencil actually makes such great clouds. So I am using a piece of white cardstock, and I did not gesso it, but look at how cool that looks with making those clouds. And I feel like I completely transformed this white cardstock into what looks like a piece of patterned paper just with this stencil. Yeah, I really love this stencil. And you don't, I mean, yes, it looks like clouds, but you don't have to use blue. On the page I did a couple weeks ago, I think I used yellow. So it kind of just gives it a really cool artsy background. I am sure I am not using this stencil to its fullest potential. I know some of, like if you go to Altenew's page and look at some of their card designers and how they use it, and it's pretty amazing what they can do with this. But so I'm just kind of willy-nilly going along with this and kind of turning it. Yeah, they don't, those don't even really look like real clouds, but you can make it look like real clouds. So then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of, what color is this? Like an antique linen, I think, Distress Oxide. Because I just wanted some areas of darker, a darker, I don't know, shade, because clouds kind of look like that sometimes in the spring and summer when it's cloudy. So yeah, so I did this and I really like the way it looks, but I feel like it's a little too, the color is a little too intense. I do go over it, I spray some water here. It doesn't give it the effect I was hoping it gives. I think it's because I didn't gesso the background. I like it when you have the Distress Oxides really react well with water, but it didn't in this case. So yeah, it looks a little too busy. So I'm just going to take my white gesso and I go back over. I probably should have done this to start with, gesso the paper, but I didn't. And I'm just going to go back over it, and it really tones it down a lot. And I really love how it just makes it look a lot softer. So I'm happy with the way that this comes out once this is dry. And I decided to blend with my finger a little bit just to kind of give, I didn't want like the scrapey lines showing through with my scraper, so I'm just going to blend it with my finger to kind of make it look more like a cloud, I guess. So yeah, that's so much better. So now I really love this background, and actually I really want to make some more backgrounds like this just to have with some different colors, and yeah. Okay, so my stencil, or not my stencil, what is this? Cutout is dry, and I'm trying to figure how I want to layer them. If I want to layer two and have like the whole circles, or if I just want to kind of have partial circles here. I like this little one too. It's cute. That would be good on a card. But I don't really make cards, so I'm going to use it on a layout. And then I decide to kind of do this across the page look and have the two circles opposite each other. This is actually my original plan. I was just kind of playing around with the leaves. And then I'm going to add in some wood veneer. And I'm going to paint that eventually. I really love the contrast. Well, first of all, the colors in my photo are kind of bright. I got that bright yellow and that bright pink. But I love what the green does and kind of adds that softness there. Okay, so I guess I'm going to arrange this again to go back to my original layout of having the two wreaths. So I play around with this for a while, but I decide to, what do I decide to do? I know I decided to go back and add that small wreath in at some point. So I am going to paint this word happy. So I just took a little bit of gesso on my finger and put it over the happy so that the gesso just sticks a little bit better. The same thing with a couple of those little hearts. And I am going to pick up on the pink in my photo, and I will paint those pink in a little bit after I add some pattern paper. I just grabbed a piece of pattern paper from my stash. This is an old, I think it's from a Paige Evans collection, and I grabbed a couple other embellies because I was trying to figure out how to embellish this. So I'm not really digging into my summer stash so much. I mean, obviously this isn't really, I mean, the photos were taken in the summer, well, early summer, May, but yeah, I'm not using my traditional like swimming stuff or anchors or other things. I'm using my florals and wreaths. Okay, so I guess this is going to be the arrangement here. Going through my stash, I picked out these like layered stacked die cuts from Jen Hadfield. I think they came in an old Hip Kit Club kit, and the pinks and the yellows were just perfect, and the greens and the blues as well. So I had 3 left. I actually used the entire package, and I get my visual triangle, boom, 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 and they fit just perfectly. And then I added a couple pieces of chipboard from a Simple Stories thing. So I recently just went through all of my old Hip Kit Club kits and kind of just sorted through them all and put like all the embellishments together and put all the papers together and kind of separated them a little bit based on theme. So I kind of just rearranged everything, and I actually purged a lot too. So that's where a lot of these stickers and things are coming from right now. Are some old kits. Okay, so here's the pink. I use the Distress Oxide inks to just paint those, and I'm just pressing the wood veneer right onto the ink pad. I still have the protective backing on the backs of these wood veneers because they are self-adhesive, and then that allows me to press it pretty good into the paper. So I'm sorry, into the ink pad. So I love that color pink. It's just perfect. And then I'll pick up on a little bit more yellows and just a phrase sticker or two. Again, sticker sheets from Hip Kit Club. I think these are Dear Lizzie. No, maybe crepe paper? No, not Dear Lizzie. Crepe paper, definitely. Okay, time to glue everything down. I guess this is how I'm going to keep my wreaths. And I'm just putting a few dots of glue underneath. I had considered stitching around the wreath, but I think that the stem part of the wreath was just too narrow for me to do that effectively without tearing the paper, so I am just going to glue it. And I'll snip that off, and I can use that section for another page, maybe. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but when I arranged these 2 concentric wreaths, I kind of twisted them so that the dark green section of one was kind of more towards the yellow section of the other, and vice versa. Okay, so I will put some craft foam on the back of each of these photos just to pop them up. And I don't even measure for these craft foams. I just put a big chunk on the back and leave it like that. And then I considered adding a little bit more green in there just to kind of fill something in, but I go against that. And then this is super easy to embellish. You just pull these, just add these stickers, these layered die cut stickers on, and that's pretty much it. I'm in love with this background, how it totally looks like a piece of pattern paper. And it just was white cardstock. Okay, so the title, I ended up going back after the video, and I just had put the word happy on there, but I'm like, that's kind of boring. So I ended up titling it Happy Little Dandelions, and I went back with some teeny tiny letter stickers I had and added the words Little Dandelions in underneath the word happy. But I don't show that here because I did that in retrospect after I watched this video, or after I watched my videos. So a little bit more dimension. I'm just adding some green enamel dots, which are also from that Alt New release. And layering those on just on the wreath part. A lot of enamel dots on those sheets. Not too much more. I add my journaling label down at the bottom, and I pop that little bird up. And I add my date, another little sticker that says May, and that's it. So there's the finished page, and here comes some close-ups of that creative cuts with my inking, and then my title there, my wood veneer that I inked. I love the way that those mists look on this cut file. Well, it's not a cut file, but these creative cuts. So that was kind of an easy peasy layout for me. I love how that came together. I hope you enjoyed. And that was day 6, and tomorrow is the last day of week 1. I can't believe it went by so fast. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate your comments. Stay scrappy, my friends.